proud to welcome you all this evening to tonight's event. It's a really great evening in terms of what we're going to announce, and in the context of this being, I think, day 3 of National Apprenticeship Week, it seems really fitting to be here in one of the hottest, the most exciting, the most dynamic parts of London to talk about this unique new project that we're going to be reviewing about tonight. And in the audience there are lots of people here from local authorities, lots of people here from organisations working with young people in terms of employment. There's companies, there's businesses, there's apprentices and young people as well. And so you're all really, really welcome. I'd like to pay a particular welcome though to 4 organisations. I'd really like to welcome the UK Commission for Employment and Skills. We're going to be hearing from them in a moment. L&Q Foundation, who have been a fantastic supporter of this project. A great example of one of the strengths of what we're going to be talking about is the way that the private sector is getting involved, and we've got Bank of America Merrill Lynch, who are here this evening as well. And finally, but not last or least, I'd also like to welcome Global Radio, which is Capital. They have a programme called Make Some Noise, and they've been a great supporter too. So I'd really like to say a very warm welcome to all of you. And I'd like, as a footnote to that, to also say a very warm welcome to Holts Academy, who are very much part of what this evening is about and what this programme is about, and so central to the future success of it. So tonight we're going to be talking about a programme. We're going to launch a brand new programme for young Londoners, which is about showcasing their talent and helping them get a foothold in what is unquestionably the most exciting part of what's happening in the UK at the moment, which is the burgeoning digital tech sector, which is happening right here and right now, and you all know that much better than I do. We have some really special guests who are going to talk about that from across a range of areas. So I'd like to ask you to give a very warm welcome to the stage to the man who's really at the forefront of this programme, which is going to bring 100 new businesses and over 1,500 young people together. Anthony Impey, who is the Managing Director of Optimity.
My journey into apprenticeship started a couple of years ago, and it was a cold and wet winter's evening, as all good stories start. A cold and wet winter's evening, and I went to a community group meeting in the basement of the Catholic church that's on Hoxton Square. And a group of young people were meeting there, and they were talking about the challenges that they were having finding jobs. They couldn't find any work at all in order to start their careers. And these were very presentable, very bright, very articulate young people. And I was staggered by the fact that they had no idea that right on their doorstep was Tech City, which is without shadow of a doubt the world's best technology cluster. I think we all agree with that, yes? Yeah. Yes, good. Yes. I'm in the right place. That's good. So that really triggered our involvement with apprenticeships. We needed skills in our organisation. We were struggling to grow. We were very successful, and we were growing very quickly, but we were really, really struggling to get the right people into our organisation. So we started working with apprenticeships, and 2 years on, we are having amazing results from recruiting local young people. And in a bit, you'll see, and some of our apprentices will speak. And I am extremely proud, I'm extremely proud of the success that they've had, their professionalism, and the success that they've had in their careers. And really today is about extending the experience that Optimity's had and broadening it to our community in East London, and our community of technology businesses, with the launch of Tech Up Nation. And as the video said, we are targeting 100 businesses. We want to get young people to work in at least 100 businesses across Tech City. And so I have one ask of you this evening. I want you to listen to the amazing presentations. I want you to listen very carefully to the talks that the young people are going to do, because they are truly inspirational stories that they have. And I would like each and every one of you that runs an organisation to make a pledge tonight to recruit a local young person in order to make this the most successful apprenticeship programme that there is. Thank you very much.
Joshua.
Thank goodness I don't have grey hairs yet, and I live by that. So just to introduce myself very briefly, I did an apprenticeship about just over 12 months ago. I was with a company called eCourier, and I started there fresh out of college. Actually dropped out of college a little bit early to do it, when I get my mum there, but it did work out. So I dropped out of college, went to an apprenticeship, and I've literally gone through the scheme. So I graduated in October of 2013, and I've been having a great time. So I was given a full-time job with the business. I managed to secure 4 Microsoft certifications from that apprenticeship program I did. And about 8 months later, I've actually been promoted and now head up the department. So so I'm now the IT manager of eCareer, and I've been having a great time ever since. So I've actually very recently, and due to start on this coming Monday the 23rd, next Monday, we're going to take on our first apprentice. So I'm going to be taking on my first apprentice in my team, and we're going to continue growing the business in that direction. So it's really been good being able to say I was an apprentice, and now I'm taking on one myself. So it's been a great journey. I've also been working with Microsoft as an apprenticeship ambassador, so actually going out to the schools, my local community, going around and actually saying this does work. You know, I've been there, wore the t-shirt, and this does work. And now we're with 3 brilliant apprentices, one of which is actually only 4 weeks into the Tech Up Nation program. So we've got some fresh meat, which is going to be brilliant. And here we are. So they've actually all gone through the bootstrapping process, which is actually a very intensive 2-week process where you're put to your limits, you're tested, and we see who you really are. They've all been successful, and they're all in the process. 2 of which, Cameron and Shah, are actually both 2 graduate apprentices. They're both now employed full-time at Optimity and looking to do a level 4 as we speak. So we've got a few questions for them, and the pressure's now in their court. So no pressure, guys. And so the first question I have is for Cameron. And my question is, what attracted you to do a technology apprenticeship?
So for me, it was about having a career first of all, and also having a career in a place where I can practice my technology skills. So just quickly, I'm going to give you an introduction into what I was doing before the apprenticeship. I just finished my A-levels, got my grades. I was looking forward to uni. I was going to go to UCL, and then I was doing, as every student does, the pros and cons of going to uni and finding an apprenticeship. And so I found this great apprenticeship program, the Tech Apprenticeship program, and the most attractive thing for me was that I was able to get my hands on, learn, be trained, be trusted into, have loyalty with my colleagues, and feel part of the team. And it then led me to have a career which I think most young people here, most young people, they're young, I'm 19, so.
Stop digging.
The biggest thing for me was to have a career, not a job. I didn't want to end up in McDonald's after getting a 3 years degree. Terrible. So for me, it was getting a career, and right now I'm an IT analyst. I deal with P1s to P5s. Things going down, things going up for IT, so it's great.
So he's the main man. And my next question I would ask to Shah. It's a little bit different question. So he's graduated, he's been through the scheme, he's done it all, he's got the t-shirt. And my question now is, so what benefits would you say you've actually gained having done that?
Well, Joshua, guys, to be honest, the benefits of it was a whole lifetime career for me. It's like before the apprenticeship, before going through the whole tech apprenticeship, I didn't know what direction I was heading with my career. I had no idea what I was doing. I was thinking, well, what do I do? Go to university for 3 years, or how do I get a career? You know, what do I do? I worked in loads of other jobs, retail, loads of things. But then once I got into this apprenticeship, I found a whole career, and I found so many skills which I never knew I had.
Brilliant, brilliant. And I've got another question for Mari. As I said, so he's fresh meat, guys, fresh meat. So he's 4 weeks into the Tech Up Nation program. And my question to you really is, and just some context is actually, so he left a very successful job as the head of marketing for a company to do this. So he's made a sacrifice. So my question is, why Tech Nation? You could have gone anywhere, you could have gone to any provider, anything in the world, why Tech Nation?
Very true. Fortunately, Anthony's given us a great opportunity for all three of us having on this stage here today. For me personally, it was the fact I can gain transferable skills while actually being in the working environment. I could have done the knowledge within my household, gone out, find a different course where it would be more on straight, sort of more of the literacy of it. Unfortunately, it's more practical for me now. With the 4 weeks I have been there, I've learned so much, and I'm learning every day. And it's a great team to be part of, to be honest, Joshua.
Makes perfect sense. Okay, so now I have a question for all three of you actually, starting with yourself, Amari. So, and you're 4 weeks in and you've done a lot to actually get to this stage. So my question would be, so if you could reverse time, and if you could go 4 weeks ago, whenever you made that critical decision to say, I'm going to do the Tech Up Nation program, and you had the chance to go back, and as well as yourself, you could go back 12 months and say, I'm not going to do this, I have a fresh choice to review and think, was it worth it? Would you still do the Tech Up Nation program? Would you still have chosen to do this apprenticeship?
I definitely would have stuck with the idea of doing the apprenticeship. For me, once again, the knowledge that I've gained for the short period of time that I've been there, it's been invaluable, and you can clearly see that Tech Up Nation as it's called, is going in a direction that is going to help all three of us. So yeah, I would have definitely.
If I could go back 12 months, I wouldn't change anything about it. The last 12 months have been an absolutely amazing experience for me. I just wouldn't change anything about it. I've learned a lot, and I'm continuing to learn, and I can't wait to see what the future brings me.
I would never change it. The most unique thing for me is I go on client sites at times, and people say to me, why have you sent a baby over? I've just got a baby now, so I have to do something about it. So they say, why have you sent a baby over to my manager? And people were so shocked at such a young age. I had skills, and in fact, I interviewed someone only a month ago who had 10 years experience in IT, who came to our company. I interviewed him being 17, I was 19 still. He did not have not even 80% of the skills I did, which was shocking because I had to say no, which was amazing. So
I think the decision across the board has been unanimous, really. The Tech Up Nation program obviously has changed their 3 lives of apprenticeship certainly has changed mine. And the word that I'd probably use to categorize it best is just limitless. These guys have gone in and they've literally broke down every boundary and they've changed their lives as well as I have, as well as Amari's about to. So we would turn around and say the apprenticeship opportunity for us, and especially for you as business owners, is a limitless chance that you have. And thank you for listening to us.
That funny. Good evening, everybody. Sorry, I thought this was a celebration. Let's start that again. Good evening, everybody. That's much better. My name is Tim Campbell. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk at your launch this evening. I think it's interesting hearing the young people speak on the stage, because you've told us you're young, so I have to use that title. I'm feeling honoured by the second, and the more I speak through this National Apprenticeship Week, that the fundamental difference that the programme has made, not just Tech Up Nation, which I think is fantastic, thank you very much for Anthony and your team for supporting, but I actually think the real difference is in the change that has been made around the conversation around apprenticeships. Having walked along the street from the bus at the top of the road using my lovely Oyster card, I was transfixed by the amount of changes that's happened along this road alone. We talked about 7 years launching Bright Ideas Trust here, which we've gone on now to invest over £1.5 million in young start-up businesses. Some of them have been apprentices or have come off the programme and decided to start their own endeavours. I'm looking along some of these hipster streets. I can't really say that anymore because I've got a beard and I'm in that hipster gang. I hope I pass the apprentices test for the beard thing, yeah. I'm coming back for the test in a second. But seeing the changes along the street and some of the mad, ludicrous prices that they're charging for some of the articles in there, it struck me how much the conversation has also changed around vocational education. I remember growing up in East London. Any Stratford residents here? No, you know me. One, thank you for being proud. Go. Everyone should be proud. We've got the Olympics now. We've done a lot. More changes happen. But I remember growing up in East London, being brought up by a very strong Jamaican disciplinarian of a mother. For those who don't understand the power of a Jamaican disciplinarian, some of you are nodding already. There were times I couldn't sit down for about 3 or 4 weeks because of the discipline she inflicted. Please don't try and get her arrested. It's okay. I run the marathon for the NSPCC now. It's okay, right? It's all good. But my mum had to have that kind of mentality with us growing up because she was adamant that we weren't going to become statistics. Because growing up in a time, and you're talking about the early 80s when there was a recession going on and people remember double-digit numbers which weren't positive around how much they owed in the bank, etc. And my mum was adamant that for us to be successful and to climb that Alan Milburn social mobility ladder that is so talked about now, we had to go to university. And the reason why she was adamant that was the path we were going to take, because she didn't get the opportunity to go to school. Not because she was stupid and she was unintelligent. My mum was a very successful entrepreneur. She didn't know that she was an entrepreneur. She never called herself an entrepreneur. She only ever talked about making ends meet. But that was entrepreneurial, believe me, some of the things that she had to do in order to make sure that her 3 children were not going to be statistics. So my mum's pathway for us, which was set out in stone, which you could not argue with, is I'm glad that we have the Olympics in our back garden, because my mum could throw a slipper around the corner and even here without even looking. She should have had an Olympic discipline for this thing. She wasn't that bad, I must say. Please don't think this was But she was clear about how we were going to be successful. And I remember going to university, hearing these words in my ear about how I was going to be successful, and to get what she called the passport for success, which was my degree qualification. And when I passed out from Middlesex University with my 2-1 qualification, and I bought the piece of paper after my graduation, she took it, and she didn't frame it like everybody else, she faxed it to everybody in Jamaica. Being the first Campbell to have the degree, she was very, very happy. But I stood there slightly bemused after this fantastic accolade, because I didn't know where this passport was supposed to take me. Because I aspired so hard to fulfill the ambition of my mother, which was to get to the end point of getting this degree qualification, getting the letters after my name, having the thing where I was the first Campbell to go through, but I didn't know what to do. I had no clue what I was supposed to do once I'd reached that point. And actually now, I'm really glad that we've changed the conversation where we no longer have this hierarchical triangle where letters after your name and the pure academic pursuit is at the top, and at the bottom, languishing down there for individuals who are seen as feckless, who may not be able to make it and could only ever aspire to have some form of vocational direction. At the bottom of that triangle, to a position now where we're standing around with phenomenal organisations like the likes of Optimity, Tech City, thank you for your support, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, who were also key investors in Bright Ideas Trust at the very beginning, so we really applaud what they've done in the community, where we're now able to have a conversation where there isn't this triangle, there are different pathways which have equal value, where individuals have a choice around the direction that they take, and they are celebrated in order to do that. I think that's phenomenal in terms of a transition, because assuming that everybody was only ever going to fit through that sausage machine that my mum forced all of us through, and I love her to death because it paid benefit for us, but it may not have worked for every single person. Changing the conversation where we're no longer talking about 50% targets to where we're now talking about what works for individuals, I think is an incredible position for us to be in. But we have to do much more now around articulating that to the next generation who are coming through, who still, in my humble opinion, don't receive the best careers guidance around telling them about the vast array of opportunities that are available if you decide to put and invest in your own career by taking a very structured and very targeted framework approach that is given to you via an apprenticeship program. We have tons of employers like the Optimities of the world who are desperate for talent, as you clearly articulated through your video. But what we don't have, I don't think, is a clear articulation, particularly from our schools, and I'm not berating teachers because I think they're under enough pressure already, about how they can find an opportunity that is best suited for where their passions lie and where their skills are. We have enough ambassadors, I think, in this room alone. Who's an apprentice in this room? Put your hand up. I think we should have filled this room with apprentices. When we do the annual renewal of this, we should fill this room with apprentices, as well as the employers and the ones who have come for the free drink. I haven't had my drink yet because I lost my token, but I'm coming back now. You know, I'm a legitimate speaker. When I asked for my drink, they looked at me like I was a criminal, but So I think what we have to do now is make sure that we, in addition to the pledges in addition to the pleasures that are so important around more employers that are going to follow the lead of the activities of the world, we have to do much more around what Jason Holt and his team. Where's Jason? Is he here? There's Jason. Congratulations on the CV, by the way. Great letters to have after your name. I've got to raise my game now. I've only got an M, so I've got to do some more work. But the whole point is that Jason and his team were really advocating what we can do around celebrating small businesses getting involved in the apprenticeship conversation as well. Because it's great that we've got the Googles and we have the IBMs and we have the PwCs and other additional trailblazers which are contributing to the 850,000 apprenticeship starts that we had in the last academic year. Phenomenal statistics. We have over 1,000 trailblazing organisations that are standing up and saying, we champion apprenticeships. And rightly so. When you talk about individuals who go through an apprenticeship program who are more productive, who are likely to stay longer, reducing your attrition rates in your businesses, why would you not have a conversation with an apprentice? You saw the 3 young men on this stage, the 4 young men, if I'm allowed to call you young. Yes, okay, you like young men, okay, fine. The 4 young men who are great ambassadors talking about what it done to transform their lives. I heard I would not do anything different. You want those kind of employees within your business. The ones who believe that you have invested and given them the start to create a career for themselves through a program which unfortunately at one time was seen as for individuals who couldn't make it through to an academic institution. Thankfully, in addition to the change that's happening and around us now, we have now returned, I think, rightly so, to when an apprenticeship was seen as a gold standard. It was seen as a true investment from somebody who knew their skill and their business inside out, who was going to take the opportunity to invest into somebody else and give them the opportunity to create their pathway. That's where we are now, with the help of the Jasons of the world, with the help of the Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, and the Optimities, the ambassadors of the UKC. I can get them all in one go without breathing, you see that? But the reality is that we need more. It's not the end of the conversation, and National Apprenticeship Week is not a point, I don't think, where we should all stand around just patting ourselves on our back. When you use the hashtag NAW2015, which I'm hoping you're all going to do with your phone after today's session, we should be asking where are the other employers who are going to stand up and be counted for supporting the next generation of talent in this country. UK PLC need more and more talented individuals if we're really going to take advantage of the global opportunities. Everybody flocks to this country because how easy it is to start a business, the love of our judiciary system, and the fact that there are a wealth of opportunities right here. But what we have to make sure is that we have the skilled workforces to take advantage of those opportunities as well. And we're only going to do that if we invest into individuals with the skills that were talked about by the Commissioner early on. What I want you to all do is realise that there's no such thing as a free drink or a free lunch or whatever it might be. We've invited you here under slightly a bit of a lie. Because what we want you actually to do is in return for that free drink that you're all holding so lovingly in your hand, or about to before your hand, those lovely yellow tokens which I still haven't got any of, is that we want you to go out and be advocates of a program which is transforming people's lives. Let's not talk about people who couldn't make it anywhere. We're talking about people who want to make it to the very top. You have the opportunity to invest in the employee who is able to do that. We're not talking about people who are lost, who can't do anything anymore. And I'm really proud, as part of the mayoral team, to be here on Boris's behalf. Apologies, he couldn't be here on this evening, and he would have loved to have been so. To say that we are incredibly proud that we now have 2.1 million apprentices across the country. When we started the programme here at the Mayor's office, we were taking on approximately 10,000 apprentices in every single month. We're now up to a 40-odd thousand, which is fantastic. So that's brilliant where we are, but there's so much more to do. And stealing your beautiful term, it is limitless what we can actually do. What I'd love you to do is celebrate this evening, but make sure you mingle around. Next time you come, you have to bring an apprentice with you. You have to bring an apprentice or a young person who could actually hear about the opportunities that are available to them via Tech City and the Tech Hub Nation program. Let's leave on one notion. Let's not think that technology is only about people who wear very funny glasses or lock themselves in a basement somewhere, or it's only about coding. It's not. It's about so much more. Everything in your life today is touched by technology in one way, shape or form. So if it's a skill that you're going to invest in, and as a gambling man, I'm not, I go to church, hey ho, it's a bet that I'd like to place. If you're going to put your money anywhere, let's invest in technology and making sure our young people understand the benefits and the careers that come as a result. Thank you very much for listening.
I have a proposal, which is, I should say thanks to Tim Campbell, MBE. I think if anybody deserves a CBE, it's Mrs. Campbell.
Oh, amen.
That really concludes all the kind of formal parts of this evening. I'd like to again say thank you very much to everybody who's spoken. I'd really like to say thank you very much to all of you for being so patient, for having to stand for so long and being so heroic. So I really appreciate that. I just want to emphasise what Tim has just said really. This programme is absolutely for councils, parts of local government and other agencies in terms of supporting programmes like this in their areas and parts of London, particularly around here. It's absolutely about organisations who work with young people, who want to help young people, working with young people as their beneficiaries. But most importantly, this programme is an employer-led programme. This is about employers opting in to the programme. At the back of the room, there's a table, and I'm under strict instructions, or I'll be shot, to say if you're an employer and you're interested, please make sure you leave your card or leave your name and your email address on the back there, and we'll get in touch with you and we'll talk to you about it. So thank you very much. That's really what Tech Up Nation is all about. It's a launch pad for young people and talent to form a pool for Tech City's growing digital companies. That's a big challenge. Our ambition is 100 SMEs from around here, working with 1,600 young people across the next 3 years. That's a £4.8 million investment, and everybody in this room is part of that success story. Have a really good evening. Thank you.